This is Maddie at the South Whitley Library. It's a beautiful day in South Whitley and we're starting our walking tour of the historic district. We're starting out at the library. We're in the courtyard right now, facing west at our first stop. It's 101 South Maple. It's an Italianate cube from 1880 and it has a low pyramid roof. It's a two-story brick with some scroll patterns in the roof above the porch. So that's our first stop, and then we're gonna head north down towards our next stop. So we've moved north. Now we're looking at 102 North Maple Street. Now this is a craftsman from 1925. This is the Lewis Mayer house. You can read more about him in your booklet, but Lewis Mayer and his family lived here. He was very active in the South Whitley community until he died in 1939, and his family was involved mostly in banking and grain elevators. Now this is further down on Maple Street at 105 North Maple Street. Now this is Lewis Mayer's brother, Moses Mayer. He was also active in the South Whitley community in banking, just like his brother, and his wife Eugenia was actually a very active board member at the library for over 40 years. Now we're at the corner of Maple and Market Streets. This is 201 North Maple. This is the late Gothic Revival style church from 1892. It was the Methodist Episcopal Church. It's brick with gabled walls, stone sills, and art glass, and a very impressive bell tower. Hi! Further down from the church, we're still on Maple, but this is 205 North Maple Street. This is the Irvin Polk House. So this is a Queen Anne style, but also a T-plan house, because the house has a T shape to it. It's built around 1900. So Irvin Polk opened the Polk Feed and Coal Company, which was a big company in the area at the time, and one of his sons, Clarence, was the town postmaster for 40 years. Once you reach the end of Maple, you're going to get to Broad, and you want to take a left down towards State Street or State Road 5. Now we're on State Street or State Road 5. This is 215 North State Street. It's the Dr. Caleb Edwards home from 1869. It's a Second Empire style. Now there used to be an infirmary behind this that the doctor owned with his wife, Eleanor Combs, and they also owned the Combs and Edwards Mercantile in town. Further down here on State Street, we're at 205 North State Street. This is a bungalow and craftsman from 1920. It's a 1.5 stories, full width in-size porch with 2/3 of it screened in. And behind it, you'll see the water tower. Excuse the traffic. Next up, there's the water tower, is number 8 on our list. You'll see behind it, it's above the fire station. Now the water tower was built in 1935. And the fire department was first organized in 1895 as the Eel River Hose Company. Just south of the fire station is 111 North State Street, which is the Scott home. Durant Charles Scott was the town druggist for a number of years, and then his daughter Claudine married Fred Graham, and Fred Graham and she lived there for a number of years. And then Fred Graham's estate provided a large endowment for the South Whitley Library. So to catch you up, we went further down on State up to the stoplight and took a right on Columbia, and now we're headed west down to Main Street. So looking west from the corner of Columbia and Main, you have number 10 on our list, which is 105 North Main Street. That's an American Foursquare from 1915, a 2-story with brick foundation, and there actually is a small window north of the door composed of art glass that's a tulip shape, which is a neat detail. Then right here in front of us, 101 North Main Street is number 11 on our list. It's a Queen Anne circa 1890. It's It's a two-story with brick foundation and vinyl walls. The front porch was added in 1915 with fluted Doric columns. As you'll refer to your booklet, now we're heading on this side of Main Street, which is South Main, and this is 101 South Main. It's an Italianate cube, kind of like the first one on our tour. This one's circa 1885. This was the son of Caleb Edwards. This is Prince Albert Edwards in his home. He studied chemistry at Purdue and pursued a career in that. He held many jobs, and he actually owned a lumber company in town, but unfortunately it burned down and he lacked insurance for it, and so he had to start all over again. But he was a very successful man. So 105 South Main Street behind me is a nice slice of South Whitley history. It was the Edwards and Mastin home. It's an American four-square from 1915 with brick columns. It'll look a little different than it does in your booklet, because in the booklet it has yellow brick with the red columns, but now, as you can see, it's been redone to have like a bluish gray siding and white columns at this time. It was, as I said, Edwards and Mastin's home. Edwards and Mastin was the Whitley County Treasurer from 1908 to 1912, and as you'll read, he was elected in the state senate, and he co-wrote a women's suffrage bill. Here we have 111 South Main Street, the Baptist Church, which is number 14 on your list. It's a neoclassical from 1926. It's a two-story brick church. It was the first Baptist church of South Whitley, which first organized here in 1979. So after coming further down, you go past Mulberry on Main and you go to Wayne. We're going to take a left and go down to the corner by the bridge. Now we're at the corner. This is 102 West Wayne Street. It's a Queen Anne from 1895, a two-story brick with a thin cornice board that wraps around the house and eaves supported by scroll brackets. Number 16 is at the corner right by Water Street. It's a monument circa 1937 that commemorates the first school in Whitley County. And then if we pan over here, this is the bridge. So the bridge is from 1935. Currently it's a two-lane concrete with sidewalks and handrails. Before 1935, there was an iron bridge here. But this current bridge was rehabilitated in 1990, and as some of you remember, again in 2016. Now we're at the corner of State and Mulberry after coming down past the bridge. Right ahead of you is 206 and 208 South State, which is where the Baxter's Five and Dime store used to be. It's an Italianate from circa 1880. And then on the corner, if we pan over, another Italianate but circa 1888 is the Subway building at 127 South State. John West Grocery also used to be here. A lot of different stores used to be here. This is our final stop on your tour before we return to the library, but it has been Subway since 1996.